Good morning to all of you, particularly to the human rights class students. Friends, already we have completed the topic on the National Human Rights Commission. You all know that according to section 12, the functions are too many for the Nhrc, like conducting inquiry into the violation of human rights or conducting inquiry into the activities of the public authorities who failed to prevent the so-called, to interfere in the violation of the so-called human rights. And they can visit the jail, they can file the intervention petitions in the courts also. They have to encourage the NGOs, they have to do the research work, or they have to encourage the research, and they have to study all the material relating to latest international treaties and advice. The governments, all these things, functions are there. 1788 clearly says the powers of their inquiry and the powers of their investigation and steps after inquiry, all these things you know. Please remember the formation day, that is on 12th October 1994, October 1994, the Human Rights Nhrc, National Human Rights Commission, was formed. So yesterday was the 28th formation day. So on this occasion, the Honorable Prime Minister of India, he has addressed the Nhrc virtually. Of course, since due to the corona, nobody is holding the physical meeting, he is not attending. So anyway, virtual meeting has held. In that connection, he has commented on the selective reading of the human rights issues or selective interpretation of the human rights issues, right? So he has warned about the people who do selective reading of human issues. So what are they? Simply, I give an example. Suppose if any terrorists or Naxalites have been shot dead by the CASF or Border Security Police, so human rights issues, while they will come, human right human rights, so-called human right activists, they come onto the paper, the press clipping, they come onto the electronic media, state that human rights have been said, second post-mortem is necessary. He was already brought into the custody, but they have shown it as a fake encounter, all these things. Suppose if the same Naxalites or terrorists or outfit, if they kill some people by hurling bombs or with human bombs, then where are these human rights activists? Where do they say? So they do not give any press statement. So this is what is called a selective interpretation of the human right. This should not be there. That is the aim of the Honorable Prime Minister of India. He says that yes, at the time also you have to come out and say these poor people, gullible people, they have been attacked by the so-called Naxalites. What are they doing? So some compensation has to be given to them. Like that they have to come out and speak, but which they will not speak. So this is the biggest infringement. So because the human rights issues are seen through a political prism or their own perspective, individual perspective or human rights perspective in their own way, not in the general way. So therefore, the Prime Minister cautioned against such a selective reading of the human rights issues. So because normally if these things go into the public or if they are published in the other papers or if we go to the notice of the world, definitely it will diminish the image of the country, right? So this own interest or own perspective and selfish interest should be gone. So the selective behavior is equally damaging the democracy, not only the country, the democracy, right? Now, he also stated that duties and rights, they cannot be separately discussed. Duties and rights, they should be discussed in common or because they have to be linked correctly. The government is doing, of course, human work in developing the rights or in developing the 60 crore people, poor people So they have taken up the issues of the human rights of those people. Of course, he has given certain examples also. So when the Muslim women, they pleaded that injustice is being done to them. So the concept of triple talaq and the act as was also made, and so many activities are being taken by the government of India to protect the human rights of the people. Then Amit Shah, Home Minister, he has stated that for the past 28 years, Nhrc has disposed about 20 lakhs cases and ordered compensation for about 205 crores. So he says that Modi government is focusing on the rights of the 60 crore people. Of course, no doubt everybody has a government authority, they will be discussing like that only. Right now, the Nhrc chairman, he is Mr. Arun Kumar Mishra, AK Mishra. He stated that political violence is still prevalent in the entire world, not only India. Political violence is there. So, therefore, you cannot call the terrorists as freedom fighters. So, there must be differentiation. A terrorist should be called as a terrorist. So, social organizations and also the human rights defenders, definitely they have to condemn the political violence and also terrorism. This is what they have told in their own perspective, selective reading. So, whenever any gullible public is killed by the Naxalite, yes, that has also focused by the so-called human rights action. But normally, it has become common for the external or extraneous forces to raise the allegations or baseless allegations of human rights violations in India, and it has to be rebutted. Right? So, normally you may be knowing Amnesty International, since it has been so and so, now it has been involved in saying that police will kill that man, human rights issues have been violated like that. Of course, nowadays Amnesty International, they have closed their organization in India, and now they have fled back to England also. Ultimately, to conclude, so the Nhrc, AK Mishra concluded that Nhrc is committed in supporting the good governance. This is what is expected from the Nhrc. Of course, the functions, the composition, all these things you know very well. But anyway, please remember the Foundation Day and don't forget the Human Rights Day. When? On December 10th. December 10th of every month, we celebrate it as Human Rights Day. On that also, let us discuss some other topic. For the present, I am stopping. Thank you very much.